I used to shine bright like gold. Now I'm all indigo. My girl is in darker and cold. I think it's time that I went home. And I don't understand why I always feel dead and alone. I used to shine bright like gold. Now I'm all indigo. Now I'm all indigo.
Thank you. Thank you. That's really gorgeous. Welcome to the Chasna and Kala. Yiddi, welcome home. Yiddi, what song did the Chasna and Kala request from Shlomo? Ask Shlomo. Bang.
Yiddi can't sing with them?
Yiddi, come sing Ashivenu with.
Yeah. Avi can't sing us, but you guys
Avram. Yisrael, I want to learn a few psukim. I think we're not ready. We're holding on to the Toldos. I want to learn a few psukim here, Yisrael, that I think we can get a lot from. The pasuk says, "Vayitchem Esav es Yaakov ala bracha asher bercha aviv." Esav hated Yaakov Avinu on the bracha that his father gave him. Vayomer Esav beliboy, and Esav said something in his heart. Esav said in his heart. Chazal make a very big deal about that statement, David. Chazal are very, very focused on that line. Chazal contrasts tzaddikim and rishon. We all have emotions. Emotions are a big part of our life. Chazal described the difference between rishon and tzaddikim. Rishon is birshus libam, and tzaddikim is libam birshusam. Everybody has to be sensitive to the lave, to what's hitting you. It's a big world what hits you. It's an important world. Very shallow, underdeveloped people ignore what hits them. They're just not in touch with it. I watch a guy's a husband and his wife says something and it hurts him. He ignores it many times. He doesn't acknowledge there's an emotion. He ends up acting out. He screams at his wife. He ends up being rude, having some not proper behaviors. He's not in touch with his lave. So that's both tzaddikim and rishon. No, the lave, the inside, there's a world of emotion, of feeling, of experiences that it's important to mark and notice. Tzaddikim is libam birshusam. Tzaddikim know how to utilize, how to tap into emotion, what to do with it. And Rishon is Heim Birshus Libam. They're owned by their lave. They're completely owned by their lave. And by Yom Esav, believe by Esav, who's dominated by his feelings. He doesn't know what to do with it. Be'emes, there's a lot to do with Esav's upset that Yaakov Avinu got the brachos. There's a lot of cool things to do with that. That means you really want the brachos. That means you really want everything that Yitzchak dreamed of for you. Remember, Yitzchak Avinu wanted to give the brachos to Esav. There were cool spaces that Esav could have tapped into. Would he have known Libam Birshusam, what to do with his lave? But somebody who has no clue what to do with his lave is Heim Birshus Libam. He's owned by his lave. Vayom Esav beliboy. And Esav says to himself, Yikru v'mei evel avi. My father's days are coming. His father was old. And Rashi says, Kipshutai, there's midrashim on it. But the pshat is my father's going to die soon. Va'hargas Yaakov achi, when my father dies, I'm going to wait till my father dies and I'm going to kill my brother Yaakov Avinu. Esav makes the decision. He's owned by his lave. Instead of tapping into his lave, studying his lave, growing from his lave, he's owned by his lave, Risham Birshus Libam, and he makes the decision, I'm going to kill Yaakov Avinu after my tata. Out of respect, he's a mechabed aviv, he respects his father. I don't want to kill Yaakov Avinu in the life of Yitzchak, but after Yitzchak dies, V'hargas Yaakov Achi, I'm going to kill my brother. Vayugad leRivka estivri Esav. It is told to Rivka the words of Esav. The problem with that, Rashi asks, is Esav said beliboy. Esav didn't tell anybody; it was in his heart. So how could it be told to Rivka the words of Esav? Says Rashi, Ruach HaKodesh. It was told to her Beruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh, she had a Ruach HaKodesh. The Gra says all of us have Ruach HaKodesh. The Gra says Ruach HaKodesh, every person. It's about being in touch with Ruach HaKodesh. We all have Ruach HaKodesh. Our neshamas know a lot of things we don't. The neshamas know are very aware. Our neshamas know. It's a Gemara says, Iyu lo yada, maz lo yada. Our neshamas know a lot of stuff, feel stuff and experience stuff. When somebody's in touch with that, it's called Ruach HaKodesh. Here, Rivka Imenu has a Ruach HaKodesh. She's told that Esav's going to kill Yaakov Avinu. Vatishlach vatikru liYaakov b'no hakatan. She calls for Yaakov and she says, Esav, your brother, misnachem l'chal hargecha, is planning on killing you. Esav has decided. When it says misnachem, it's very interesting. What does misnachem mean? Misnachem means to regret. It's interesting. Misnachem means to regret, and he has what it means to regret. Whenever it says misnachem, it's the same word as nechama, to comfort. Why is the word to comfort and to regret the same thing, Chevra? In Lashon Kodesh, words are not a way of saying something; they're the thing itself. So why is nechama, to comfort, to be menachem, to comfort somebody, the same words as to regret, to change your mind? Why is that comforting something? Why is regret and comforting the same word, Naftali? Yisrael, why is it the same word? To regret and change and to comfort. A nechama is to see it with different lenses. The truest nechama is what you saw one way to see a different way. Wow. To be open your eyes. The regret is to rethink something. Cool. To rethink something, which is nechama. That's the real nechama. To any nechama is to think of it in different terms. To see it in a different way. So what does it mean he's misnachem? What is he misnachem? What does he see in a different way? So Rashi says, Nicham ala achva. He regrets the brotherhood. That's what it means. He was menachem, Rashi says. He regrets the brotherhood and has decided to kill you. He no longer he regrets the brother. It's not how he sees it anymore. And Esav wants to kill Yaakov Avinu. V'ata b'ni, and now my son Rivka Imenu commands Yaakov Avinu, Shema b'koili, listen to my voice. V'kum barach l'cha elav anachi charana. I want you to run to my brother to Haran. Leave Eretz Yisrael. Esav wants to kill you. Run to my brother in Haran. V'yashav te'ima yamim achadim. You'll live by him a set amount of days. Ada shatashav chamas achicha, until your brother's rage settles, until his anger dissipates. Ad shuv af achicha mimcha, until his anger leaves you. V'shakach es asher asisi alai, he'll forget what you did to him. V'shalachti l'kachticha misham, and then we'll call you back from Haran. Then she says something that's rooted in prophecy. She says, Lama eshkol gam shneichem b'yom echad. Why should shakel is what's called somebody who's shakel is somebody who loses children. Rachmana litzlan. Lama eshkol. Why should I lose a child? Gam shneichem yom echad. Why should I lose both my children in one day? Now, what's she talking about? Losing both children. She says, Yaakov Avinu, run away. Esav wants to kill you. She says, why should I lose you both on one day? She's not about to lose both. Run away so I don't lose you, Yaakov Avinu. She says, why should I lose you both on one day? What is she talking about? What's she talking about losing Yaakov and Esav one day? She loses just Yaakov. Lama eshkol gam shneichem. Why should I lose both of you? So some Rishonim say pshat, that it means, why should I lose Yitzchak and Yaakov on the same day? Because remember that Esav said when Yitzchak Avinu dies, Yikru Yimei Evel, he said, Esav said, Yikru Yimei Evel Avi, when my father dies, I'm killing Yaakov. So she said, run away, Yaakov. Why should I lose both of you? Means, why should I lose my husband and my son on the same day? Wow. Right when Yitzchak dies, he's going to kill you. Run away. Why should I lose both of you on the same day? Yitzchak and Yaakov. Rashi does not learn that way. And the Pashut Pshat's not that way because a shakel is somebody who loses children. Rashi brings, Eshkal is shakula, somebody who's kaiveres banav is called a shakel. So it's not the expression for losing a husband. So lama eshkal gam shneichem yaimechad means a shakel is losing the children. So it means I'll lose Esav and Yaakov the same day. What does she mean? She's saying, Yaakov, run away. I don't want you to die. What is she talking about? Esav dying. So Rashi says, Im Yakum Alecha Vata Targenu. I'm worried Esav will try to kill you and you'll kill him. Yaakov, I trust you'll kill him. But however, Yamdu Banav, his children would get up and kill you. If you kill him, his children will avenge and kill you. So I'm worried we'll lose both of you. The Brisker Rav said Pshat, that what do you mean I'll lose both of you? It means if Yaakov is not there, then Esav has a place. Kolzman, there's a Yaakov, there's a role for Esav. Eshkol Gam Shnechem is if there's no Yaakov, there's no role for Esav. So the loss of Yaakov destroys Esav, ironically. But she says, run away, I don't want to lose both of you on the same day. Chazal tell us this was a prophecy. Nivav lo yadav aniva, it was a prophecy. It was a prophecy that on the day Yaakov Avinu dies, Esav's going to die. She said, I don't want you both to die on the same day. What's she talking about? There was an nevuah that when she loses one, she's going to lose the other. It was a prophecy. And when one's niftar, I want to read a Gemara about that prophecy, because that prophecy came true, and I want to study a Gemara together, Yosef, in a minute. Now she has said, Rivka has told Yaakov Avinu Avram to run away. She turns her attention to her husband. She says, Zach, she told Yaakov Avinu, run away. Esav wants to kill you. She had a prophecy. She had a Ruach HaKodesh. Esav only said it in his heart. He didn't tell anybody. He didn't want to hurt his dad. But Vayom Esav b'libo, he had made a decision to kill Yaakov. The Ruach HaKodesh, Rivka Imenu finds out. Rivka wants to kill Yaakov. And Esav wants to kill Yaakov, and she tells Yaakov to run away. Then she says to Yitzchak, Vataymer Rivka Yitzchak Katzti b'chayim ibnois ches. Ooh, do I dislike Ma'asti? I don't like the b'nois ches. Esav married people from ches. She says, I have so much pain. Ma'asti, I'm disgusted. She didn't like Esav's wives. This is one of the early origin of mother-in-law, daughter-in-law issues. Is Rivka Imenu did not like, had a big problem. It's funny we have a Kali here today. Here there's Shalom Bayis here, but this is an early Rivka Imenu says I'm not happy with Esav's choices of spouses. Katzti b'chayei. I'm very, very upset. She's disgusted with her life in the B'nai Ches. Im lakach Yaakov isha B'nai Ches ke'ela mib'nai haaretz. If Yaakov Avinu takes shidduchim from the B'nai Ches, or anybody for that matter, that's how Rashi Chazal learned, many Rishonim learned. She takes them B'nai Ches, or any B'nai haaretz, lama li chayim. My life's not worth living. That line, lama li chayim's wild. If my son does a bad shidduch, what's my life worth? This is based on the Gemara Saita Chaf Aleph. The Gemara says that an Isha's biggest chus is raising her children. An Isha's main tafkid in her life is raising the children as loyalists to Hashem. She says if my son marries a Rashanta, my son marries somebody who's not a loyalist to Hashem, Lama li chayim, my whole life's not worthwhile. Amazing line. Nashim tzidkani ada yoyim hazeh. I watch in yeshiva a guy's mother, the way the mothers in the yeshiva fight for their children, daven for their children. It's wild. My wife's on a chat for many years with mothers in the Masifta. It's incredible. She has shown me remarkable things of mothers' dreams. The way they daven for their children, it reflects that an Isha's chus of her kids, of being mechanech her children as loyalists to Hashem, this line of Rivka touches me deeply. Rivka Imenu says, if my son marries a Rishanta, Lama li chayim, my whole life's not worthwhile. There's Rivka Imenu, one of the greats who ever lived. She says, if my son marries a Rasha, Lama li chayim, I forfeit my whole life. The sense, this is the Torah writing it. There's not like an exaggeration. This is an Isha Tzadekes, one of the Imais of Klal Yisrael. A mother's drive for her children, you see it. What a mother would do that her child, the tefillas of a mama, the prayers of a mother, her whole life, her life's mission, that her children are loyalist to Hashem. If you see Nashim Tzidkaniyas, I see maybe the biggest power in this Masifta is the mothers. Maybe. The way they mispalel, the way they battle and want and have a deep desire for the children to be servants of Hashem is lo yu'uman. Rivki Meinu says in one of the most remarkable psukim in the Torah, if Yaakov Avinu marries a Rasha, Lamali Chayim, my whole life's not worth it. The dream of an Isha that her son goes in the right way. Frektar Chayim HaKadosh Chevra. Why didn't she tell Yitzchak Avinu? Why didn't she tell him that Esav wants to kill Yaakov? She doesn't tell Yitzchak Avinu Chevra. Why didn't she tell Yitzchak? She literally lies. A lie, it's a white lie, a shtickle. She goes, what? What'd she tell you? She goes to Yaakov Avinu, says, your brother wants to kill you, skedaddle, run. She then goes to Yitzchak and says, I cannot handle my son marrying somebody from here. Please, my whole life's not worth it if Yaakov Avinu marries a girl from here. So Yitzchak hears his wife say that. Vayikra Yitzchak el Yankov, he calls Yaakov in, and he says, Vayitzaveh, he commands him, don't take a girl with nice Knan, go to Padena Aram, the house of Besuel, Avi Mecha, your mother's father, and get a girl from there. All because Rivki Meinu said to Yitzchak, I don't want Yaakov Avinu taking a shidduch here. So she tricked Yaakov Avinu. Now it is true. It's not a lie. Ravezi says it's not a lie, mamish, but that's not why you want him to go there. It is true. What she said is true. She doesn't want him to take a shidduch, but her real motive is she wants Yaakov to run out of town, that he shouldn't be killed by Esav. But she doesn't tell Yitzchak Avinu that. She really could say to Yitzchak Avinu, hello, Esav wants to kill Yaakov. She does not do that. She says to Yaakov, Yitzchak Avinu, she says to her husband, she says, I don't want Yaakov. Katzti v'chayit is so important to me. It would kill me. Lama lichayim if Yaakov gets a wife from B'nai Canaan. Would it? Yitzchak, it would. It's true. Okay. But that's not why she was telling him to run. She was telling him to run because Esav wants to kill him. No. Why didn't she tell Yitzchak Avinu that, Chevra? Yisrael, why doesn't she tell Yitzchak the truth?
She just wanted to look at Esav differently.
Wow. Whoa. Aviad said Yitzchak had a good look at Esav. She didn't want to affect Yitzchak's view of Esav. That's wild. That's wild. Aviad said that Yitzchak Avinu has a certain view of Esav. She doesn't want to change that view. That's an amazing pshat. Naftali, you ever heard that pshat before Aviad said it? Aviad said Yitzchak holds of Esav. She doesn't want to affect that view. That view is a saving thing for Esav. To tell Yitzchak that Esav wants to kill Yaakov, she doesn't want to change the view. Amazing pshat. Amazing Naira. Aviad Naira.
Does that mean that she knew what Esav was like all along and never told
Sounds
Yitzchak?
that she knew. Maybe. Beautiful pshat. Dar Chaim HaKadosh says that Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara. There's no reason to tell Yitzchak. It's Lashon Hara. It's interesting. There's what to do. You would think Yitzchak Avinu could have a sit down with Esav, but she held its Lashon Hara. It's amazing. I guess she felt not l'tayelis. To Yaakov Avinu's a tayelis to tell him. So she tells Yaakov, your brother wants to kill you. Beware, run. To Yitzchak, she felt there was no tayelis. Vaistai, she held that he can't convince her, that Yitzchak would not be able to convince Esav out of it. So she held there's no tayelis to tell him. That's the Archaim, Archaim. The exactness, the Archaim HaKadosh says Lashon Hara. What do you say, Zevi? You have the Archaim HaKadosh Pshat and you have Aviad's Pshat. The Archaim HaKadosh says Lashon Hara. Aviad says that it would destroy Esav to tell Esav. And there's no tayelis, it would destroy Esav. That's what Aviad said. Because Yitzchak holds of Esav. And if Yitzchak knows that Esav wants to kill, he'll stop holding it. It would hurt Esav. That's what Aviad said. The Avi, that's the Chaim HaKodesh says Lashon Hara. Tzvi says a third pshat, that she didn't want to cause tsar to Yitzchak Avinu. Rishonim say like you also Tzvi. We have three pshatim. Why perhaps a Pella she doesn't tell Yitzchak Avinu. We have three pshatim. Why Rivki Meinu doesn't tell Yitzchak that Esav wants to kill Yaakov. We have Tzvi Rand's pshat that she doesn't want to hurt Yitzchak Avinu. She doesn't want to hurt Yitzchak Avinu. Remember, Esav's very cheshbon for not killing Yaakov all his father's lives, not to hurt his father. And Rivki Meinu holds there's no point. She doesn't want to hurt Yitzchak. So that's
Yitzchak to die happy.
yeah. I want to hurt him. Doesn't want to hurt him. That's Tzvi's pshat. We have Aviad's pshat. She doesn't want to hurt Esav. Yitzchak holds of Esav. That could save him. She wants him to continue to hold him. That's Aviad's beautiful pshat, Tzvi's beautiful pshat. And the Or Chaim HaKadosh says Lashon Hara. There's no right to tell Yitzchak. You don't need to tell him. So she does want, so the Or Chaim HaKadosh speaks out, it's Lashon Hara. So why make up this whole story to him that I need him for a shidduch? So that the Or Chaim HaKadosh says not to cause tsar to Yitzchak. All of a sudden Yaakov goes missing. She's going to say, Yaakov run away. She's not going to tell Yitzchak, where's Yaakov? Oh, he had business out of town. So she gets Yaakov Avinu to send Yitzchak. She gets Yitzchak Avinu to send Yaakov away. She says to Yitzchak, you know I don't want him to marry from the Bnei Canaan. He says, yeah, Taka. He calls in Yaakov Avinu and he benches him, Vayitzaveyu, and he commands him, he says, don't take an Isha from Bnei Canaan, go to Padan Aram, the house of Besuel, and take a shidduch from there. I want to talk for a few minutes, Chevra, about this prophecy of Rivki Meinu. Rivki Meinu prophesies, Eshkol gam shneichem b'yom echad. She said that I don't want both of you to die on the same day, which everybody's busy. She said to Yaakov, run away, so Esav doesn't kill you. What's this dying on the same day? So Rashi says, Ruach HaKodesh, there's a goodbye. Rivka Imenu had a Ruach HaKodesh, u'misnav, minisnava, she's saying in Nevuah, shebiyoyim echad yamusu. They will die on the same day. It was a prophecy. I'd like to read the Gemara, Akiva, that the prophecy came true. I want to learn a Gemara, Akiva, that moves me a lot. And there's what to do in this Gemara ourselves. I'd like to read a Gemara, Akiva, about this. Rivki Menus prophesizes that Esav and Yankov will be nifter on the same day. Let's learn a Gemara Saita Daf Yud Gimel, Aviad. The Gemara Saita Yud Gimel says as follows. It's on Daf Yud Gimel in Saita. Folio 13 in Saita. And it speaks there the following story, Zevi, about, it's a story Yisrael we know, but I want to analyze one detail, Azriel, of the story. It's on Daf Yud Gimel, Azriel, in Saita. The Gemara says as follows. It's talking about the day that they buried Yaakov Avinu.
Oh boy.
And it says, Kiban Shigi Elamar Samach Bela. They brought Yaakov Avinu's body from Mitzrayim. It was a massive delegation. Whose they is all the Shivtei Ka were there.
Like discusses whoever does these things.
What?
Never like talks about whoever does these things.
What do you mean?
Like when it just says Avram died, Yitzchak died, Yaakov died, like not like.
Torah is not a history book, right? Only says what's relevant for all eternity. It's not a history book. Here the Gemara says the following story, Aviad. It says on the day Yaakov Avinu died, and remember, all the Shvatim went out of Mitzrayim to bury Yaakov Avinu. Mitzrayim, people in Mitzrayim went, tons of people were there. It was like a historic funeral. And it says, when they came to the Ma'ara Samach Bela, Asu Esav came out, Kama Akiv, and he held up the procession. There's like a neirodik, a chutzpah. Esav came out and didn't let the burial happen. There was recently a Maisa in Eretz Yisrael. It was a scary Maisa. A big tzaddik was nifter, and there was a big machlokes where to bury him. There was a whole delay. It was like Shrek. There's a big Inyan. It's a big Inyan to get right to Kfura. It's a big thing. The neshama badly wants to be buried to it. It's a big zach. It's a big comfort to the neshama. Just the truth. These are real things. It's the truth. It's a big comfort. The neshama is in a very complicated state. There's a lot of tsar for the neshama. The burial should be as quickly as possible. Quickly as possible. Relatives till the burial say Tehillim. They say Tehillim because it's a big tsar for the neshama. Once the guf in an oifen shall cover to go in the ground, it's a tremendous tsar for the neshama before the kfura. And here, I'm sorry? Shabbos is a comfort, she'en kamayu. So it helps. Shabbos helps a lot. Einakluch, children saying Tehillim helps a lot. The neshama is in a lot of tsar. After the misa, quick as possible to kfura. Quick as possible. As quickly as possible. You don't delay the kfura. It's a tremendous tsar. The neshama is in pain. It's a tsar for the neshama. So we do as quickly as possible to kfura. Comes Esav Arasha. And he's delaying the burial. Chutzpah Neira. Kama'akiv, Esav's protesting. And he says, Omar Lehen. He says it's called Kiryas Arbe. Arbe is because of 4 zugais. Adam and Chava, Avram and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, Yaakov and Leah. There's 4 zugais here. Iyu kavra l'leia b'didei.
This is Yaakov and Leah, not Yaakov and Rachel.
What?
This is Yaakov and
Yeah,
Leah.
this is what he said. Because Rachel's not buried in the Maras Machpelah. She's buried on the road. So when we went into Gullus, we could cry by her kever Rachel. So Rachel's bedavka buried in a place that you didn't go. People describe that their strongest tefillas in the world. I've heard many people have told me that the best prayer of their life is by Kever Rachel. It was a place meant and buried in a place. Many people have told me they daven like they never daven in their life by Kever Rachel. But nonetheless, the 4 zugais is and says Esav, he buried Leah b'didei. And the one that's left, there's one spot left, it's mine. It's the last spot. He knows there are only 8 graves in the Maras Machpelah. It's called Kiryas Arba. There are 4 zugais. There's 8 graves there. Avram and Sarah buried in the Maras Machpelah. Yitzchak and Rivka. And there's Adam and Chava. I skipped Adam and Chava. And now, the last one, Leah was already buried there, so it's the last one. He says, it's mine. It's mine. So, Amar Leah, Zivinta, you sold it. They said to Esav, he's protesting, you sold it. He said, show me the shtar. Show me the documentation. And the problem was, it was left in Egypt. They're all by the Maras Machpelah. Yaakov Avinu is not being buried. This tremendous tsar not to be buried. And Esav's protesting. So who's the fastest of the Shvatim, Chevra? Naphtali. Ayela Shlucha, he's mamish. He's a speedster. So they say, Naphtali, run back to Egypt and get the shtar. And the whole funeral procession, Oifen Shal Chutzpah, was delayed. In Eretz Yisrael, there was a Ma'aser Neira, one of the tzaddikim. There was mamish a fight about his kever, who was supposed to be buried there. Ganze vikuach, a brother and a brother-in-law, whole, and one of the tzaddikim. There were tens of thousands of yidden at Levaya. Everything was like held up. Saying Tillim was crazy. Mamish, such a Ma'aser. So here, Esav's holding up Yaakov's Levaya. And they send Naphtali back. He's a speedster. They send him back to run to Egypt to pick up the shtar that they need in order to bury. Comes along, so they send him back. Chushim braid Dun. Dun has a son. Dun was a very small family. Dun had one son, Chushim ben Dun, his only child, a ben Yachid. All the Shivtei Ka there, all their children, there's tons of Egyptians there, and they're all being held up. Chushim ben Dun, good Yankov's there. Tam and Have, he was there. The Akirin Le Oidnei, his ears didn't work well. He was deaf. Chushim ben Dun was deaf. Amar Luhu Mai Hai. Like, what's happening here? He's watching and he can't hear. And he says to the Chevra, Mai Hai, what's happening here? Va'amru leika ma'akiv hay ad asi Naftali married to Mitzrayim. They point to Esav that he said he's delaying until Naftali gets the shtar. Amralu v'adasi Naftali married to Mitzrayim avi abba mutal b'bzayin. There's azab b'zayinus to my Zayda. The Zayda's like everybody's cool with this. The Zayda's sitting here b'bzayin, and we're going to wait till Naftali gets back from Mitzrayim. Shakal kolfa. He takes some sort of stick, machya reisha, and he bangs Esav on the head. I'm not putting up with this, the Chushim says. He bangs Esav on the head. Natrin eine v'nafla kar Yaakov. He kills Esav. He kills Esav on the spot. I'm not leaving my Zayda in a bezayin, and Chushim and Dan kills Esav. Esav's head rolls off. He knocks off his head. His head is buried in the Maras Machpelah in a kiyum of the prophecy of Rivka Inenu, who said, Eshkol gam shneichem b'yoyim echad. Both of them are going to die on the same day. Now you can ask that Yaakov Avinu didn't die that day. Some say since it was the Yom Akfura, it's called he died that day. Some say since Yaakov Avinu loy meis. So all there is the Yom Akfura. Good, Beseder. But that's the kiyum of Eshkol Gam Shneichem. Now the Gemara brings, I'm sorry? Chushim Mendan? It sounds that way. He's praised for such a thing. It sounds that way. Sounds that way. But it's interesting, Avram, that the Gemara says that Chushim's deaf. Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, I believe, spoke this out. Why does the Gemara bring he was deaf? He even asks what happened. Chushim, like what's of what impact that Chushim was deaf? Why is that important to this story? Chushim kills Esav. The Gemara says he was deaf. Reb Chaim Shmulevitz says that people hear things, get used to things. Everybody else heard Esav's tainas. I hear. Chushim sees the scene, doesn't hear false information. He sees Esav's ma'akiv, he sees the thing. He says when you hear sheker, even it's heard as sheker, but you get used to something. Esav saying his tainas, they're saying their tainas. Everybody's, I hear. Esav spoke and said Rashas. Chushim was deaf, he didn't hear all the sheker. He says he's ma'akiv, this person's stopping, and he kills Esav. He doesn't have all the information. Sometimes in the ribuy of information, of hearing this side and hearing that side, it causes a certain comfortability with sheker. Chushim doesn't know of all. He's not so smart. He doesn't hear all these different stadim. I've seen this. We've all seen this many times in our life. Sometimes hearing less is knowing more. Sometimes a little less information is knowing more. And Chushim doesn't hear all this politics, all this hack. He sees, he doesn't get used to, he doesn't get comfortable with that. He just sees that Esav's doing a tremendous bizayin to Yaakov Avinu, and he doesn't accept that. His simplicity and less information doesn't allow for the confusion and the different thoughts. He sees something, and he sees the emes of a situation. It's interesting. There's something in learning. I'm very into this, Aviad. In a sugya, I always like knowing my muskel rishon. It's a very good thing. I would my muskel rishon in situations always mark down what your first thought was. What was my initial? It doesn't mean to do it. It means Yisrael. It's a big thing. Your first thought. A lot of times, the ribuy of information, we confuse ourselves. Now, it doesn't mean to act irrationally. I'm not saying that. But I like knowing, in any sugya, I ask myself, what was the muskel rishon? What did I think before I confused myself? It does matter, and I would say to mark it, if you will, you can call that the Chushim thought. The Chushim thought is before you heard Ala Svaras, the whole Machlaikish. I guarantee when you're assessing life situations and you're learning a Sugi Yisrael, always ask yourself what was your muskel rishon. How did you initially see the matter? It matters a lot when you're deciding things. It doesn't mean, Tzvi, it doesn't mean to throw away other thoughts. It doesn't mean that. But it means there's a weightiness to muskel rishon. What did I think before I confused myself? A lot that's chushim. Chushim and done like does. I look at everybody like hearing whole debates. Chushim like doesn't hear any of that. He sees like a certain pashtus, certain simplicity. It's like Yaakov's supposed to be buried and Esau's holding up. He doesn't know ganze chachmas. And that's very, very powerful space. Does it mean having misunim adin? You have to be deliberate, Zebi. And it's important to think and not to just act impulsively for sure, Yaakov. But I think it's a big sugya. In general, when you learn Gemara, one of the things you should weigh is what was your muskal rishon. Muskal rishon means your first thought on the matter. Doesn't mean it's right, but there's something. Why did I think that originally? Why that hit me? There might be a purity there to what hit you, to what you saw when you decide things. It's a good thing to measure and weigh what your muskal rishon. Now, does that mean you always go with it, Avi? Not at all. Yeah, very important to say, how did I initially say it? Mark that down, that was my muskal rishon. Now you might, in thinking about it, Yisrael, come up with good svaras. I didn't think of this. Okay, so I missed an important information.
Yeah, but that muskal rishon paired with the new information you get would prove the muskal rishon wrong.
Right. So if it does, it does. Right. I'm not saying, Azriel, that whatever your muskal rishon is, you do. You hear this, Eitzah? I'm saying an aside here that I think is valuable, Akiva. The muskal rishon, our initial thought, is very valuable. Anybody who learns Torah, Gemaras have Havaminas. Havaminas typical, the muskal rishon. There's tremendous amount to learn from Havaminas. It doesn't mean we have maskanas, but there's a lot to learn from the first thought. There's what to learn if we would note it that way, if we typically saw it that way. There's what to learn from. In matter of fact, if you look at a Gemara, and there are a lot of Havaminas trying to prove like a certain Amira, and it answers them all up. But it doesn't even come out in the Gemara, we typically paskin like all those Havaminas. Because you see, that was the musk. Even though we had answers, we had dichuyim, but that was the muskal rishon. That was like the first, the initial thing that hits. Again, I don't say, Zevi, that we don't have to rethink it, and at times our initial thought was wrong. Even when it's wrong, you could usually learn from what your muskal rishon, because it's instructive what you first thought. There's something pure about the first thought. It says like Adam Yashar Nerl ben Bikshu Chesbainis Rabbis. We were born very Yashar, very glad. We confuse ourselves. Please do this in all your dealings. Please do this. I advise, mark down and note what your first thought was. Again, there'll be times you won't go with it, and you'll have good reasons. I think you'll learn, Yosef, from your initial thought. It will mean something to you. It will instruct in one way or another. There's a certain pashtus to it. I'm zustelling it to Chushim because of Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, that in hearing a ribuy of Dvarim, everybody got confused. In hearing, Chushim was minus the whole Maso Matan. He just had the muskal rishon. Ace was blocking and shoulder. What's happening? People got comfortable and heard all different svaras and got the cheshbainis rabbin that threw them off. Yisrael, you hear? I have found this helpful in learning, very helpful. And again, not as an excuse not to think. Think through something, analyze, ponder, go a lot, but as a big thing to what hit you. The Shlomo, where do you hold this muskal rishon, the first? There's a Goyish writer, I'm not coming from Goyish sources. There's a Goyish writer who figured this out. He wrote a book about this, the first thought. Very good. I'm not good at Ephraim. I'm not coming from the Goy. I'm actually coming from a few places. I'm coming from Chaim Shmulevitz by Chushim Ben Dan, who says, B'ribuy Dvarim, there's a Pasuk in Mishnah I'm coming from, and all of Shas, Yisrael, I'm very moved by Havaminas. But why does it bring the Havamina? Because it's important, the Havamina. The Havamina I take as the muskal rishon, and you learn a lot from Havaminas. Often it's instructive to how we paskin. There's a lot that can be learned from what the muskal rishon is. You ever do the shloimeh thinking about things? Do you ever ask yourself, what did I think before I got myself? It's a good thing to note. It's a very good thing. What hit you first, like before you got yourself confused? Again, does that mean that's the right thing? No. But why? Even then, I thought that before I got into it.
Is that like the same thing as like a gut feeling, or just
Sometimes the muscles tied to the place that I just like. I could hear a connection. I don't know if it has to be the same thing, but I could hear a connection. The musculation is like what hit me first. Like before I like. Okay, then and by the way, sometimes you think of information that I have to cheshbon. I think it's important to mark what you thought. If you think about Shas, that it's busy, what do you, Yoel, right?
Yeah.
What do you hold of this, Yoel? I think it's true. Not that the musculation's always right, it's very instructive. And even if you don't go with it, it can guide you. It can say something that you thought that's... If you ever ask Talmidei Chachamim their thoughts, they'll say, if you ever ask advice from a Talmud Chacham, often they'll say, my muscle rishon's this, but let me think about it. Why they tell me that muscle rishon? There's a reason they're saying it. There's a reason they're saying that muscle rishon. Hagam, they might say, you've ever heard, if you ask advice from Talmidei Chachamim, they'll often say to you, I want to think about it, but by muscle rishon, let me tell you what hits me. After you've heard like this. I've asked advice from tzaddikim, from big people, and I've heard this. I'd say always, but they'll give you their muscarishin. I think there's a purpose in doing it. Now they want to call back. But I think not the purpose, not just for you, they're marking what their muscarishin. My muscarishin is this, well, let me think about it. They'll allude back to what they initially thought. I would sushtel in Shas where it says Havaminas. I would sushtel Chushim Ben Danu who has a certain pashtos belief before the sechsach, before there's a debate and discussion. He has a certain glatzkeit of just seeing the initial findings without any. Yeah.
Why does Rivka describe this and that as like a tragedy, and then the Gemara says that and it was a simple? Is there like an argument?
It says Yaakov smiled. It does say that. Yismach. Yeah.
Isn't he dead?
She calls it a shock.
Isn't he dead?
What?
Isn't Yaakov dead? That's how he smiled.
The Gemara says he smiled. Yaakov le'meis. Yaakov Avinu could smile even in the kever. Tzaddikim, it's different.
Clearly.
Yeah, the Gemara says he smiled. Yeah.
Does she have to say that?
Pella, no?
Yeah.
Rav Yaakov Moshe Charlap, the great tzaddik, yeah. Even after his Rebbe died, he kept learning with him the Chabrusa. Tzaddikim, it's different. Yeah, that wasn't so long ago.
What?
Okay.
Rabbi,
Oh, please say something. Recognize.
Rabbi, I remember hearing.
Let's do another song for the Chasna Kala. Then I want to hear this. Could you do another song? Yeah. Yoel, we have somebody here, Yoel Weiss, who is helping with the music here. Yeah, let's get together. What is that? Yeah. No performance. Just look at the spot here. Come. Here is very. Why you just drop that? Jackie, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Rabbi.
Rabbi, why don't practice get canceled?
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you the cheshbon.
Every time Rabbi starts share, I have no muscle sharing. And then Rabbi overloads it.
I'm sorry.
I'm just comparing.
Don't forget your installation. Ezra, let's hear a good song. And I want to tell the family.
Rabbi, Ezra sings.
Does he? No, I don't think he does. Do you?
Why are you lying?
Does it?
Sings in the room every day.
Oh, run the Kiki, check this out. What song we're doing?
Kiva. Kiva.
Not a bad idea.
He looks delighted to be there.
Really? That's amazing. Is that true? Is that true? Rav Ezi says it. Rav Ezi, explain why you asked for this song. Yeti, listen why he asked for this song. You asked for it, he gets it.
The last Nevuah was a kind of, it was today on the Pasuk says. That was the fourth one, Kislev.
So it's today this prophecy, so that's why he wants you to sing it today. That's the
My
always.
brother started singing last night at the house.
That's amazing.
He started singing, I'm like, hey.
Bored as shit. Like, Yeti.
Your Chayva Yisrael Mano
Ezra. OD.
Wow. One more song you'll do for Yael? Which one do you want
From
to do?
Ezra.
Do something Shlomo will do alone, you'll sing something. Yeah. What song should we do for Yael? Yitz, you want to do with Shlomo?
Oh my God.
Put your chair next to Shlomo. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, let's go. No? Come, let's go.
My grandpa loves it. Anytime my grandpa loves it. Anytime my grandpa loves
Like that, yeah. Do you know that yet?
Like yesterday.
Let me just tell the guys I want to hear you sing. Yashakaya Chaver, it's 4:40. Second Seder will be 5 o'clock. We're going to learn tomorrow. We're going to meet right now, Jackie.
I remember hearing a story. There was a guy chatting that died, and they had to take him in order to this story. They had to pass a church, and every time a Jew died, all the non-Jews would gather here and throw rocks. So everybody would run away and just leave him. So when he died, over before he died, he said, if that happened, put my safer that I composed on top of my own, and they just started throwing rocks, and they put the safer on their own, and it opened, and the pages started turning on their own. Every page that turned, the church went like something.
What was we saying?
When?
Right now. What were we saying?
Oh, there's a story of, I don't remember which time it was, but there was a guy that died, like I guess a rabbi of the city. Every time a preacher died, in order to get to this dark, they had to pass church. And all the non-Jews got in the church and throw rocks at them. Every time they would all get scared of rocks. So before he died, he told them to put the safer on.
Yeah, so like added on to it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like add something. No, you don't have
Oh, why is nobody paying that shit?
Shlomo, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know how good it
Yeah. Sure. Whether I will see you got the Chavez probably or not? Doesn't think he's right. He might. He doesn't think he's not. Thursday, you know? He's still, but he doesn't even, didn't sound like he's going to go to that. This you would go? Yeah, I would love to. I have no idea. Hopefully he would get them to, but it could be not. You know what I'm saying?
That's such a good show.
Yeah, we said.
For sure, not for Shabbos.
I think so. It's community. Especially at this. The next two are in, and then what's it called? And then there's squeezing me very hard right now. The next two are in, and then he's going like Israel. So it's like you're gonna be around. Going to Israel? Like I don't know, like after Hanukkah or something. No, like I mean, he was like thinking like I'm not gonna be around. Like yeah, he was like already planning like if I miss now, then I'm never gonna ever be here in my life. That's kind of what he made it sound like.
You're just curious who no longer owns the car. You're curious who used to own the car and now they don't. Yeah, I guess you might lose their keys.
Oh, they're mine. Go ahead.
Never mind, Rally.
What? Yeah. size today. It's like,
Yeah. One of the size.
You like rap?
One of the.
You know Matt Hansen?
Okay, fine.
Titanium.
You don't want to
There's
find
two music clips that are the craziest thing.
she's gonna hold it by you. One out.
Yeah. No, I've some that aren't. Those are my lazy recently. Those are the two craziest music clips.
Nice and loud.
Yeah, and then this just black out. Literally crazy.
Yo, when are you leaving?
Oh, it's in down there. I was like,
I packed out already.
perfect.
So who the hell is that guy?
Killer.
Oh.
Who's that?
Justin Bieber, blackout drunk. One of the performances is the best thing he's ever done. What?
I mean, you got it fun to know.
Over like a reel, you just sing it's great. And it's so much better than the real version.
There's a lot of anxiety in like putting your guitar on the chair.
Yeah, whenever I walk by,
I
I was like, I
There's just like tons of anxiety.
I freak out. Also wall racks, that I freak out.
Can you hold it always?
What, like wall
Hold it.
My guitar in Yeshiva has a massive hole here because it was on a rack and it fell.
Why did it fall? The wall rack.
If someone bumps into it,
Wall rack?
yeah, if someone bumps into it, it moves and it falls. So
Put it like on top of your like that's a bed wall rack. Bed.
maybe, but like an unlucky bounce, game over.
Yo, wake him up. You do one
No,
more.
why would it
Lands
fall
on
down?
the
If
neck.
it's stewed in a
Or wake me up so that I'll
Yeah, but it's just a lot.
Or wake me up so that
But it should be close to weak. I don't know what rack we have. You have a guitar standing on the floor?
I put it in my case.
Yeah, it's annoying to take
I
out.
just need to get props against my couch.
I don't know.